That's on the other no salutation. Right. 2003. I was asked to go and build 26 radio stations in Liberia. I thought, that's good, so I went. When I arrived in Liberia, first problem, the president did not like the idea of somebody building impartial radio stations. And so accused me of being a member of the CIA, which was interesting, but it did mean that I wasn't allowed to leave the city, I wasn't allowed to go to meetings, and I wasn't allowed to make my own meetings. And I got 2 secret policemen with me. Now, secret policing you would think would be secret, but these secret policemen were dressed in black shades, black boots, and nobody else was. So they did stand out a bit. So they followed me everywhere. And then one day I decided that I would try and get away from them. So I snuck off into this alleyway, and I thought I'd got away with it, but they came round the other end and caught me. And they gave me a bit of a beating because I shouldn't have done it. So that's from then on I behaved. The next bit was really funny because they have a marketplace, and everybody would wander in there at some time during the day to have a cup of tea. Now, tea in Liberia is very similar to lots of other countries. You've got 2 tins. One tin you pour the tea leaves in, then you've got boiling water and pour it in and backwards and forwards. That does that bit. Then you pour in a small can of evaporated milk, and then you shove in something like 10 tablespoons of sugar, and then it's again, and then you get it to drink. Well, I always stopped them when they'd done the tea leaves bit. I didn't like the idea of milk and sugar, so I had that. And they thought I was weird. So I was sitting there having my cup of tea, and there was a sort of tap on my shoulder, and I looked round, and there was this guy wanting to see my papers. Well, my papers are in the safe. I don't want to carry them around with me. And so I said, well, they're in the flat. Do you want to come down and look at them? He said, no, you've got to have them here, now. I haven't got them. Right. Police station. Oh, God, you don't want to be in a Liberian police station. And ding goes the bell, and I think, oh, right, go and talk to those 2 guys in black. So he went over there, and he came back like grease lightning. Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't know the president was looking after you personally. Oh, I'm so sorry, and then he shot off. I thought, that's the one good thing they've done for me. So, as we went on, there was the second radio station we bought was called Stone FM, and that was at the Firestone plantation for rubber. Massive place. And the radio station was independent completely, and we taught them how to make programs, how to maintain it, everything to do with radio we taught them. And I got a phone call, because we did have mobiles, got a phone call saying the commander of the police is telling us that he's going to shut us down. This is one night, this was. I said, for what? And he said, oh, because we criticised Firestone's policies on things like you can only buy stuff from the company store because you've only got company credits. So they couldn't buy food anywhere else, you had to go to the company store, which was ripping them off. And they didn't do any maintenance either to the buildings, and they were leaking. And so that's what they were talking about. And when he said that they were coming down with the rest of the police force in that particular area to shut the place down and confiscate all the kit, the guy on duty put a message out to everybody, the police are coming and shutting us down, get down here quick, otherwise we're in trouble. So it was that, boom, big, right around the radio station, a big circle, and saying basically, you want to get in there, you've got to come through us, because it's our radio station. And I think that was really good, because that was the whole idea of the system. Provide a radio station, teach them how to do everything, and they take over, and they have to fund it, they have to create jobs, pay people, and that's how it all worked. And I can remember talking to he's known as Uncle Blammo, one of the guys there, last December, just talking about what was going on. And I asked him about the state of the radios, and he said, well, we've had a few routed, but we're now up to 50. I'm thinking, that's fantastic, they've got 50 radio stations. And one of the great things is, if you know anything about radio, you're linking stations, you all link together, particularly BBC, so that you can be in one place and transmit and be heard somewhere else. You know, I used to do a programme in Bristol from Swindon, so I'd be up in Old Town and they'd be taking part of the programme in the Bristol studios. So this is what we tried. We couldn't actually go as good as that, but we didn't have any microwaves, so we couldn't do it. But we could do one thing, and that was Monrovia, this main city, had a 1,000-watt transmitter. That transmitter would blast out, and the stations up the coast and so far inland would receive. And the stations that received would record the news in English, transmit it in English plus local languages, bang a radio at 1,000 watt, and that would transmit all around one other area. And same thing, transmit in English and other languages, which each station could do that. And finally, it went from Bangor to Smile FM in Swindon, and they transmitted to the southern part, and exactly the same thing, local languages plus English. And so the system worked. You could get news throughout the country in about 12 hours, which is quite something. It was fun, and from then on I kept on doing it, but and I had to retire when I got to 17. No, this is what's so sad. I could have carried on because I was fit enough, but they couldn't get insurance. I had to have medical insurance, I had to have evacuation insurance, and the one they don't talk about, ransom insurance. I wasn't supposed to know that I'd got that. But yeah, that's what it was like, and it was fun. And I can't imagine doing anything other than that in my life. It's just so brilliant.
Thank you, Bruce.